When Maddie Collins agreed to deliver food to a billionaire's mansion, she had no idea she would find a boy locked away by his own family, accused of a crime he never committed. What she uncovered in that house's secret files shattered one of California's most powerful families and put her life, and her son's, in real danger. You're the first person who's treated me like a human in over a year. You were at the Fairmont house today. Be careful, said the message that appeared on her phone. If she comes back here, I'll end her career. This is the story of how a single mom waitress stood up to an empire and exposed a truth that shocked the entire world. Single mom waitress delivered food to the billionaire's son. What happened next shocked everyone. The alarm went off at 4:47 a.m., but Maddie Collins had already been awake for 20 minutes. Not because she wanted to be, but because yesterday's overdue electric bill wouldn't leave her mind. She stared at the cracked ceiling of her Echo Park apartment, listening to the soft snoring of her 3-year-old on the mattress beside her. Tyler slept curled around his worn-out teddy bear, blissfully unaware of the weight his mother carried on her shoulders. Maddie got up quietly, slipped into the wrinkled Sunrise Diner uniform, that 24-hour restaurant that always smelled like bacon and burnt coffee, and left before the sun rose. Los Angeles, 6:15 a.m. The fog still blanketed the streets. Maddie pedaled her old bike down Sunset Boulevard, dodging speeding drivers and unhoused people sleeping in makeshift tents along the sidewalks. The cold cut across her face. She pulled the frayed hoodie zipper up to her chin. When she reached the restaurant, the kitchen was already hot and loud, plates clattering, oil hissing, voices shouting orders. "Maddie, table 12 is complaining their toast is cold!" "Carol," the manager yelled, without even looking at her. "I'm on it," Maddie said, tying her apron fast. 6 straight hours on her feet, swollen ankles, forced smiles, $2 tips. When her shift was ending, Carol showed up holding a printed order slip. "Hey, Maddie, I need someone to do a special delivery. They're paying $100 just for the drop-off." Maddie froze mid-table wipe. $100? Seriously? Seriously. But it's far. Mulholland Drive, the Fairmont mansion. The name sounded familiar, but Maddie couldn't place it. "I'll take it." Carol handed her the packaged order. 3 veggie sandwiches, green juice, apple pie. "Has to be there by 10. Don't be late. These people are different." Maddie grabbed the thermal bag, the address on her phone, and left. Mulholland Drive, 9:42 m. The GPS took her through winding tree-lined roads where homes hid behind tall walls and security cameras. The higher she climbed, the quieter it got. No honking, no traffic, nothing. Then she saw it. A massive iron gate with old gold details, guarded by 2 uniformed security guards. Maddie stepped off her bike, unsure. I'm here to deliver food. Sunrise Diner order." The older guard looked at her like he was evaluating a threat. "Name?" "Maddie Collins." He checked a list, frowned, murmured something into his radio. After a tense silence, he said, "You may enter. Leave the bike here. Someone will retrieve it." The gate opened slowly with a heavy groan. Maddie swallowed hard and started walking. Turning the corner of the internal driveway, she saw the mansion. White, immense, Greek columns, massive windows reflecting the gray sky. It looked more like a museum than a home, and it was far too quiet. A butler in a dark suit awaited her at the door. "Follow me," he said without a smile. Maddie stepped inside. The marble floor echoed every step, walls covered in huge paintings and crystal chandeliers. But no sound, no voices, no TV, nothing. "Leave the order here." The butler pointed to a side table. I need a signature. Restaurant protocol." He hesitated. "Wait here." He climbed the wide staircase. Maddie stood there holding the bag, feeling the weight of the silence. That's when she heard it. A muffled sob, coming from a half-open door down the left hallway. Maddie looked around. No one. The butler was still upstairs. She walked over slowly and saw him, sitting on the floor of a huge room, surrounded by expensive furniture covered in white sheets. Was a boy. No, a young man. 19, maybe 20. Thin, messy brown hair, oversized gray hoodie, pajama pants. He had his face buried in his knees, breathing fast like he was trying to pull himself together. Maddie tapped the door lightly. He lifted his head, startled. His eyes were red, sunken, exhausted. "Sorry," Maddie whispered. heard a noise and, "You're the delivery?" he asked, voice rough. "Yeah, Maddie." He wiped his face with his sleeve. "Evan. Hey, Evan." Silence. He looked at the bag in her hands. "You can leave it on the table." Maddie set down the order. But something kept her there. Maybe it was the way he looked at the food, like he didn't even know what to do with it. Or maybe it was the way that giant mansion felt more like a prison. "Are you okay?" she asked before she could stop herself. Evan laughed, but there was nothing funny in it. "That's the worst question anyone can ask." "Sorry." "No, it's just, nobody ever asks for real. They just ask because it's polite." Maddie crossed her arms, still standing in the doorway. "I asked for real." Evan stared at her, like he was trying to decide if he could trust her. "I haven't left this place in months, maybe a year. Lost count." "Why?" He looked away. "Because out there, people hate me." Maddie frowned. "Hate you? Why?" "For something they think I did." The door suddenly swung open. The butler stood there, tense. "Miss, I need you to leave now." Maddie nodded, but before she stepped out, she glanced at Evan one last time. He whispered, barely audible, "Thank you for asking." Back on the bike. As Maddie pedaled home, Evan's face wouldn't leave her mind. Something was wrong in that house, and she couldn't ignore it. That night, after putting Tyler to bed, she grabbed her phone and typed, "Evan Fairmont." The results exploded on her screen. Headlines, dozens. "Billionaire heir accused of assault at Hollywood party." "Evan Fairmont, 18, under investigation for violent conduct. Fairmont family trying to buy off scandal." Maddie clicked an article. She read fast, trying to make sense of it. According to the report, Evan had assaulted a young actress at a Malibu party. Witnesses claimed he was out of control. The victim, whose name was withheld, reportedly arrived at the hospital bruised. The Fairmont family denied everything, said Evan was in therapy at the time and the accusations were baseless. But the media didn't care. Photos of him being escorted by security, videos of paparazzi yelling questions, cruel comments online. "That kid's a monster. Money buys everything except decency. He should be in jail." Maddie stopped reading when a knot tightened in her chest, because she had seen Evan, and he didn't look like a monster. He looked like someone broken. 3 days later, Maddie couldn't resist. She went back to the mansion. This time no order, no excuse. The guard recognized her. "You again?" "I forgot something on my last delivery. Won't take long." He hesitated, then let her in. Maddie went straight to the same room. Evan was there, sitting on the floor again, this time sketching something in an old notebook. When he saw her, he looked surprised, but also relieved. "You came back?" "Yeah." "Why?" Maddie sat on the floor across the room. "Because I read about you, and it didn't add up." Evan closed the notebook slowly. "What didn't add up?" "The dates. You were in therapy when that supposedly happened. I saw the article, but nobody mentioned it." Evan stayed silent, then said quietly, "No one wanted to hear my side. I do. And for the first time in months." Evan started talking. He told her he was in a private clinic that night, that he went voluntarily because he suffered severe panic attacks since he was 16, that the supposed victim was someone he didn't even know, that the whole thing had been orchestrated by someone close to the family, someone who wanted to destroy the Fairmonts to force a stock sale. But when he tried to prove his innocence, his father stopped him. He said exposing the truth would be worse. People would say we paid off the victim. The media would destroy me anyway. So he locked me in here. Maddie felt a chill. "He locked you in?" "Not literally. But it might as well be. I can't leave. Can't talk to anyone. Can't live." He looked at her, eyes shining. "You're the first person who talked to me like I'm human in over a year." Maddie didn't know what to say, so she did the only thing she could think of. She held out her hand. Evan stared at it, hesitated, then took it. But outside someone was watching. Maddie got home shaking, not from the cold, from anger. How had no one looked deeper into this? How had the media destroyed a kid without solid proof? She opened her old laptop and started digging. Articles, forums, public court records, and then she found it, a filed court document. It stated that Evan Fairmont had been officially admitted to a mental health clinic between August 12th and August 29th, 2022. The alleged assault happened August 19th. He was hospitalized when the crime supposedly occurred. Maddie covered her mouth with her hand. Oh my God! She kept reading, and she found something even more disturbing. The victim had withdrawn the complaint 3 months later. No public explanation, no interview. She simply disappeared. And even then, the internet kept condemning Evan. Maddie closed the laptop, taking a deep breath. She needed to tell someone. But who? Anonymous message. 11:47 p.m. Maddie's phone buzzed. Unknown number. You were at the Fairmont house today. Be careful who you get involved with. Maddie's blood froze. She locked the door, looked at Tyler sleeping, then typed back, "Who are you?" No reply. She didn't sleep that night. Maddie went back to the mansion the next day. This time, determined. Evan was waiting for her at the door, as if he knew she'd come back. "You shouldn't be here," he said, but there was urgency in his voice. "I know, but I need to show you something." She opened her phone and showed him the document she'd found. Evan read it, and for the first time, his eyes filled with tears. You found this?" "I did, and there's more." The victim withdrew the complaint. "Evan, you have proof you're innocent." He shook his head, desperate. "It doesn't matter. My dad buried everything. He's scared it'll destroy the company. Then we're going to dig it up." Evan stared at her. "How?" "Show me where he keeps the documents." The secret room. Evan led her to a locked office on the second floor. He typed in a code. The door opened. Inside, there were boxes and boxes of files, contracts, printed emails, medical records, security footage. My dad kept everything. He said it was to protect the family, but really, it was to control me. Maddie started searching, and then she found it. A DVD recording dated August 19th, 2022. "What's this?" "Clinic cameras," Evan whispered. "The day I supposedly was at that party. I was there, sedated, because of a panic episode." Maddie gripped the DVD tightly. "This is gold, Evan." Suddenly, footsteps echoed in the hallway. Heavy, purposeful. The door swung open, and there he was, the father, Richard Fairmont, tall, impeccable suit, eyes cold as ice. "What the hell is going on here?" Richard didn't need to shout. His presence alone was threatening. He looked at Maddie like she was an insect that had crawled into his home. "Who are you?" Maddie swallowed hard but held his gaze. "I'm Maddie Collins. I brought food for your son." "And why the hell are you in my office?" Evan stepped forward. "Dad, she's helping me." Richard turned to him, voice cutting sharp. "Helping? You don't need help. You need to stay quiet and let me handle this my way." "Your way?" Evan raised his voice. "You locked me in here for over a year. You ruined my life because you were scared of headlines. I protected you. You abandoned me." The silence that followed was heavy as lead. Richard took a deep, controlled breath. Then he looked at Maddie. "Miss Collins, I don't know what my son told you, but he is unstable. He needs care, and you have no right to be here." "I saw the documents," Maddie said firmly. "He's innocent, and you know it." Richard narrowed his eyes. "Leave, now, or I'll make sure you never work in Los Angeles again." Fear crawled up Maddie's throat, but then Evan grabbed her hand. "Dad, she's the only person who treated me like a human since this started. If you do anything to her, I'll tell everything. To the media, to the police, to whoever will listen." Richard went silent. Then he smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "You don't have the guts." Evan squeezed Maddie's hand. "Try me." Richard walked out. But before leaving, he said, "If she ever comes back here, I will destroy her career. And yours too, Evan. Do not make me do it." The door slammed. Maddie and Evan stood frozen in silence, until Maddie whispered, "He's serious. I know. I have a son. I can't lose my job." Evan let go of her hand, defeated. "Then, you should go." Maddie looked at him, and then she made a decision. Maddie went home with a broken heart. She looked at Tyler, asleep on the old mattress. She thought about the bills, the late rent, the job that barely paid anything. She couldn't risk everything, but she couldn't forget Evan's face either. 3 days later, Sunrise Diner. Maddie was wiping tables when she saw him. Evan, standing outside, looking through the window. He looked desperate. She ran out. "Evan, what are you doing here? I needed to see you. You can't be here. Your father, he's going to send me away again," Evan said, voice cracking. "He said I'm going to a private clinic in Switzerland to protect me. But it's just to shut me up. Maddie felt the floor drop beneath her. When? Tomorrow morning. Oh my God! Evan grabbed her shoulders, desperate. Maddie, I can't take it anymore. I can't keep living like this. If I go there, I'll never come back. Please, help me. Maddie looked into his eyes, and she saw everything. The pain, the fear, the hope. Then she looked back inside the restaurant, where Tyler was sitting in his stroller, coloring. She had to choose safety or truth. She took a breath. I'll help you. Maddie didn't sleep that night. She called every contact she had, local reporters, small investigative channels, anyone willing to listen. Most ignored her, until one replied, Nina Reyes, 32, known for exposing corporate scandals. They met in a tiny cafe far from curious eyes. Maddie put everything on the table, literally. The clinic DVD, the court documents, the impossible timeline. Nina studied everything quietly. Then she looked at Maddie. If I publish this, the Fairmonts will come after me. And you? I know. You're sure? Maddie thought of Evan, locked inside his own home. She thought of Tyler, who deserved to grow up in a world where truth mattered. I'm sure. 48 hours later, the story went live. Evan Fairmont, the truth behind the scandal that shocked Hollywood. The video exploded. Millions of views in hours. Comments flooding in. I knew something was off. The media destroyed this kid with no proof. Where's the victim now? Why did she disappear? The evidence was undeniable. The clinic footage showed Evan sedated, unable to get out of bed, while the alleged assault happened miles away. The medical records backed everything up. And then, the final bombshell. Nina tracked down the victim, who, under pressure, admitted on camera, I was paid to make that accusation. I never met Evan Fairmont. I'm sorry. The entire country stopped. Nanusoan, Fairmont Mansion. Next day, Richard Fairmont tried to spin the story, gave interviews claiming he was protecting his son, but it was too late. The truth was out, and Evan, finally, was free. Maddie was at the Sunrise Diner pouring coffee when she heard the bell over the door. She turned, and there was Evan. He looked different, haircut, clean clothes, but mostly, he was smiling. Hey, he said. Hey. Silence. Then he asked, Can I order a coffee? Maddie smiled. Of course. He sat at the counter. She poured his cup. And as he took the first sip, he said, Thank you. For everything. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. You gave me something no one else did. What? Evan looked into her eyes. A chance to be free. For real. Maddie felt her eyes burn. Then Evan asked shyly, Can I come by here sometimes just to talk? Maddie laughed softly. You can come by as much as you want. And for the first time in a long time, they were both smiling for real. Sometimes the truth shows up in the people we least expect. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting even when everything threatens to fall apart. If this story moved you, share it with someone who still believes that small acts can change entire destinies.